Yeah, I think as rugby players, we deal with a lot of adversity. People go through injuries, a lot of pressure. For me, I think family and friends is probably the main thing that sort of keeps me grounded, and the bigger picture sort of thing. Like, although you might be going through some hard times here, your life's not really at risk. There's a lot of other people who are in worse circumstances. So just try to think about that and what I'm grateful for, and get to go home to my family, see my little boy, and have my partner who's a big rock for me, and then obviously the boys. We all sort of know what each other's going through. We've all got each other's backs, and whether that's having a jam at Fortnite or smashing you at 2K, it's I don't know. That's how I sort of deal with the sort of pressures, and I try to block it out. All the stuff that people talk about.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't look at what people say. I tend to block that stuff out and look at the bigger picture, which is having your family around, your friends, and yeah.
But it's not always easy, eh?
It's not always easy. It's
easy for us to sit here and say, like we do this, but there's times where, I don't know, it can feel like there's a lot on top of us.
I think for most of us boys, the only real opinions we care about is, the boys around us that we're playing with, our teammates and our coaches. So obviously you're going to get the phone call if your parents aren't there, and your dad or your mum calling up saying what you need to work on, trying to be your second coach. But apart from that, I think the only real opinions that count as the coaches' ones and the boys around you. So I think if you want to move forward and go further in life, you're not going to listen to the people out there that aren't playing the game, but you're going to listen to the ones that are helping you out in there day by day.
Yeah, I think she just knocked it on the head. Like, you know what you need to work on to get better, and same with your coaches and players around you. Like, everybody's here to help each other get better, and if you're looking into that kind of stuff, it's all just those guys behind a computer or behind a phone just typing things up. So, we know what we need to do to get better, and you just kind of block that kind of stuff out. So.
Yeah, I know. So I suppose it's different for everyone as well. I know people who like to go on there and use that as a bit of motivation. They prove the haters wrong. And then there's guys like us who sort of block that out and deal with it in a different way. But I suppose it's just down to the individual and how what's best for them to deal with the situation. Yeah, I think for me, obviously me and Toni were same years as a long time ago, 11 years now. Yeah, it's a long time. Back then it probably wasn't, it was still quite big on that stigma where mental health was, I don't know, probably something that wasn't as open, and probably a lot of the world didn't know too much about, especially at school level. And to be fair, we didn't have iPhones, we didn't have 3G, 4G, and social media. So it's not like we had people attacking us, from all types, on the phone, in school, and all that sort of thing. And I think that's a massive thing that's become so major and for young kids. You say, I don't know what the suicide rate for young kids these days are, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot more than what it used to be. And I think a big part of that is just the expectation that a lot of kids have these days. Whether that be like, I need to be this, I see this on TV, I see this on my Instagram feed, I need to look like this person, I need to be rich, and all this stuff. And then kids who, like us, some of us have come from not wealthy backgrounds to see all this stuff and have it so accessible just by scrolling through your phone. And you go through hard times. I think that's a major part, and it's something that needs to be addressed. It probably is at the moment in the school system. I haven't been back in a while, but there's a different layer now that I think for younger kids, not only younger kids, everyone, we can all be affected by that, but it's that expectation, and I think it's breaking that down to say, you don't need to weigh this much, you don't need to have this much money. It's about being grateful for what you have, and doing something you love, not something that you should be doing, you know what I mean?
So it's like surrounding yourself with a good group of mates. Yeah. It's like growing up in school, you really, lean on your mates quite a lot. So I guess, like as growing up, you kind of get to feel what friends are the ones that are gonna, make you enjoy life a lot more than a few others that are, all about, that life in terms of what you're saying, like. So I guess it's
surrounding yourself with good friends and making sure, you're comfortable to speak to each other. I know, shucks, if I'm going through stuff, sometimes I like to just hold it back and feel like I can do this on my own. But it's breaking down that stigma where it's like, I'm here for you. That's what you're telling your mate, but it's making sure that they know that and they feel comfortable about coming out to talk to you.
Yeah. I kind of got approached, and I had friends and family asking me if I was alright. I used to just say I was fine, and I was a bit lonely and stuff like that, going through some hard days at training and stuff like that, just going through the motions, and yeah, so when you've got friends and family keep on asking you if you're alright, then one day you just give into it, and you have to tell them how you feel, and you just fully open up, but at first you might not feel comfortable just telling them how you feel and what kind of state you're in, but yeah, I think if everybody's talking to each other and quite open and honest about everything, then yeah, everything goes a long way.
I think that's the scary thing is that like we talk to each other here right now. We talk to people every day, and you'd be like, bro, how are you? And it's like, yeah, I'm sweet, but you don't really know. Exactly what's going on. It's like, I don't know what's going through your head, you don't know what's going through my head. I could put on this, this brave face like a mask, and we don't know what it is. And I suppose that's the scariest thing. And it's, I'm, I don't know if lucky or fortunate's the right word. I haven't been through that stuff, but I lost my cousin, and like he was, like you thought he was all right, and next thing he's gone. But even my mate here, we had one of the boys stag do, and over a few beers everything sort of comes out, and I found out that my mate went through a bit of a tough time as well, and I didn't know anything about it. But it's sort of tough.
Knowing that he found it tough because he knew that I couldn't go to him when I was in quite a bad shape. But I was lucky that we had one of the other boys that I ended up calling and talking. Like you said. When do you know when it's time to talk? And I think when it's time to talk because it's right at that point when something might happen. But going on to my story, I was going to share a little bit later. But straight after school, I kind of I met this girl that I loved quite a bit, and we broke up, and she was my first love. So. I was in a bad shape for about 2 years. I was at that stage where I thought it was the end, and I turned to alcohol, and I knew it was time to talk, and I ended up reaching out to one of my mates that was there for me, and to this day he was there, and he helped me through it. My family were there. They knew what I was going through. I just couldn't, I was just in that stage where your mind just blanks out, and you just know that nothing matters. Like nothing else matters. The biggest thing would be talking. The longer you leave it inside you, it's the worse it's gonna get. I found that for myself. So.
Yeah, I guess as a whole, not just the rugby community out there, we can really help each other out in terms of just being there and talking to each other in terms of bit of banter or calling out someone for a chat and for a yarn, or going out for a coffee or for a lunch date, or anything like that. That's like you might not have heard from someone in ages. Instead of them, waiting for them to call you, why don't you call them first and ask what they're up to, and you know, see what they're doing. So I guess just being, you can also be the man, you know, if the other person you know that might be feeling down and you're waiting for him to open up, you might be the one that needs to make the move first and give them a buzz. So I guess just keep talking to your mates or to your family or to whoever who's closest to you, you know, grandparents, you know, you might not see as much.
Yeah, I think just like sort of that expectation versus reality thing, like you don't need to be someone else, you don't need to be, you know, someone that you think you need to be, just be yourself, and know that, you know, when you're going through a tough time, whether it's a good friend, a family member, a helpline, a website or somewhere, there's someone that's going to want to talk to you. And I'm massively proud of this guy for coming out and talking about his thing, and as soon as I said, bro, like we've got a platform here to be able to try and do something, straight away he, you know, he's putting himself out there. So knowing that it's okay, to ask for help, and there's going to be someone to listen and to talk to.
Yeah, I think some great points have been brought up there by your lads, and being able to talk to somebody and have that confidence and, you know, open up. But sometimes if you're not at that stage yet, like things are maybe just starting to boil, then, you know, a bit of time away by yourself or with your family or friends is always good. Just a few days away or a night away, you know, just regroup yourself and have some time away, and, you know, and check out HeadFirst as well. Some good things on there, and you know, if you're not too sure about a few things, just head on there and be a few things on there to have a look at. So.
Unreal.